The whistle pierced the air like a knife, and I froze mid-dribble, the soccer ball thudding forgotten against my shin. Coach Ramirez's voice boomed from the sidelines. "What the hell was that, Ellis? You call that a fake-out or a damn fairy twirl?" His words landing like punches in front of the entire team, my teammates' laughter echoing off the dew-kissed grass of Eisenhower High's field. But it wasn't Coach who gutted me. It was the way my best friend, Jake, didn't meet my eyes, his cleats shifting in the mud as if he wished the earth would swallow him whole instead of defending me. I was 16, out and proud in a way that felt like armor in the hallways of our sleepy Ohio suburb, but brittle as glass on the pitch. Soccer had always been my escape, my church. The roar of the crowd drowning out the whispers, the rhythm of foot on leather syncing with my heartbeat. Eisenhower High wasn't exactly a beacon of progress. It was the kind of place where Friday nights meant bonfires and beer under pickup truck beds, where, "That's so gay," slipped from lips like it was just punctuation. I'd come out freshman year after a brutal locker room shove from a senior who mistook my glance for an invitation. And yeah, it had gotten easier, or so I thought, until Mr. Hargrove, Jake's dad, the volunteer assistant coach with a handshake like a vice and eyes that scanned for weakness, decided my play style needed fixing. It started small, innocuous enough to gaslight myself into thinking it was nothing. A nudge during warm-ups. "Loosen up those hips, Ellis. You're playing like you're at a ballet recital, not a state qualifier." I'd laugh it off, chalk it up to tough love, because Mr. Hargrove was a legend in Willow Creek. Former Buckeye linebacker. Now a real estate kingpin flipping foreclosures into McMansions for families fleeing Cleveland's rust. He lived for the team, funded half our gear out of his deep pockets, and Jake idolized him like he hung the moon. Jake and I had been inseparable since Pee Wee League, trading secrets under the bleachers about crushes and college dreams. He was the straight one, the golden boy with the easy smile and quarterback build, but he'd been my rock when the coming-out bombshell dropped. "You're still you, man," he'd said, fist bumping me like it sealed a pact. That afternoon, after the whistle fiasco, practice dragged into overtime drills, the September sun dipping low and turning the field into a canvas of amber and shadow. My legs burned from sprints, but it was the knot in my chest that ached. As we huddled for cool down, Mr. Hargrove clapped a meaty hand on my shoulder. Too hard, lingering too long. "Hey kid, meet me in the equipment shed after. We need to talk strategy." His voice was all gravel and grease, like he was selling me a house instead of cornering me. The team dispersed, Jake shooting me a half wave before vanishing with the others, his truck's taillights winking goodbye in the parking lot. The shed smelled of damp leather and WD-40, fluorescent bulbs buzzing like angry hornets overhead. Mr. Hargrove leaned against a stack of cones, arms crossed over his broad chest, the eagle's tattoo from his college days peeking from his polo sleeve. "Sit," he said, nodding to a bench scarred from years of cleat marks. I perched on the edge, heart hammering. "Look, Ellis, you're a hell of a player. Speed like a gazelle, vision for the field. Could take us to semis if you lock it down." He paused, rubbing his jaw, eyes narrowing. "But that flair, it's distracting. Makes the boys uneasy. You gotta play like a man, not whatever that was out there. Whatever that was." The words slithered in, coiling around the truth I knew he meant but wouldn't say. My flair wasn't just footwork. It was me. The way I celebrated goals with a spin and a flourish. The loose-limbed joy that Mom said came from her Irish blood. But here, in this tin-roofed confessional, it felt like a crime. "Sir, I'm just playing my game," I stammered, heat rising in my cheeks. "Coach never said." "Coach is soft on you," he cut in, voice dropping low. "Because of, you know." He waved a hand, vague as fog, but it landed like a slap. "The you-know, the gay kid on the team. The one who didn't fit the mold of crew cuts and chest bumps. I'm doing this for Jake, for the team. You want to win, right? Then toughen up. No more of that prancing shit. Or maybe, we find you a spot on JV." Threat hung in the air, thick as the humidity. JV was exile, a benchwarmer's purgatory. I nodded, throat tight, because what else could I do? He clapped my back again. Good talk, and shoved the door open, letting in the cricket chorus from the fields. I sat there until dusk bruised the sky, wondering if Jake knew his dad was carving me up like a Thanksgiving turkey. Word spread, of course. By Monday's lunch, whispers buzzed like static. Hargrove's on Ellis's case again. I shoveled fries into my mouth at our usual corner table. Jake across from me scrolling his phone, oblivious or avoiding. "Dude," I finally said, kicking his shin under the formica. "Your old man cornered me Friday," said my style's distracting. Like, code for me being me. Jake's fork paused mid-air, ketchup dripping. His blue eyes flicked up, guilty as sin. "Shit, Alex. I heard. Dad's just intense about playoffs. He means well. Means well." The phrase curdled in my gut. Intense was code for controlling, the way he'd bench Jake last season for missing curfew, or grill him about grades like an interrogation. But Jake never pushed back. He just absorbed it, emerging shinier, straighter, the perfect son. The week blurred into a grind. Practices turned surgical. Mr. Hargrove shadowing me like a hawk, barking corrections every time my footwork veered toward instinct. "Straight line, Ellis. No curves." The team noticed, the snickers from the back line, the way midfielders gave me wide berth during passes. Even Coach Ramirez pulled me aside once, muttering about team chemistry, his mustache twitching like he tasted the awkwardness. I stripped the joy from my game, playing robotic, all angles and no soul. Goals dried up. My stats tanked. Nights, I'd lie in my attic room, posters of Messi and Ronaldo staring down like disappointed ghosts, replaying the shed talk on loop. Mom, downstairs nursing her night shift coffee, would call up, "You okay, kiddo? Sound like a zombie." I'd yell back fine, but the mirror showed a stranger, shoulders hunched, eyes dull. Then came Tyler. He transferred in sophomore year from Akron, all lanky limbs and quiet intensity, with hair the color of wet sand and a laugh that started in his belly. We'd bonded over shared playlists. Indie folk mixed with pump-up anthems, and he'd been the first to high-five my flair without flinching. "Own it, Alex," he'd say, that dimple flashing. I crushed on him hard, the kind that sneaks up like fog off Lake Erie, but I buried it deep. Tyler was straight, or so the grapevine swore, dating a cheerleader last spring. Still, his presence was a bomb during those Hargrove hell weeks. A nod across the locker room, a quick, nice trap after drills. One rainy Tuesday, after a scrimmage where I fumbled a breakaway, Hargrove's glare burning holes. We ended up alone in the trainer's room, taping ankles side by side. Rain lashed the windows, turning the world gray. "You're off your game," Tyler said, not looking up from the roll of athletic tape. His voice was soft, probing. I shrugged, focusing on the knot in my lace. "Hargrove's got me on a leash. Says I'm too showy." Tyler's hands stilled. He set the tape down, turning to face me, knee brushing mine in the cramped space. "That's bullshit. Your style's what makes you deadly, unpredictable. He's just scared." Scared. The word unlocked something, a floodgate. I spilled it all. The shed, the threats, the way it felt like erasure. Tyler listened, jaw tight, then reached over, squeezing my forearm. His touch lingered warm through the chill. "You're not broken, Alex. Don't let him make you think you are." In that moment, under the hum of the dehumidifier, something shifted. His eyes held mine, brown depths flecked with gold, and for a heartbeat, the rain faded. I wanted to lean in, to test the air between us, but fear clamped down. Instead, I pulled away, muttering thanks, and we finished taping in silence. But as we dashed to the lot, umbrellas forgotten, his shoulder bumped mine. Not accidental, and I wondered if the grapevine lied. The betrayal came swift as a counterattack. It was homecoming week, the air crisp with bonfire smoke and the promise of gridiron glory, though our soccer season overlapped like an awkward cousin. Friday's pep rally had the gym pulsing, cheerleaders flipping, band blaring Sweet Caroline. And Jake pulled me into the bleacher's shadow for a pregame huddle. "Dad's throwing a barbecue tomorrow. Teams invited. Come, man." Smooth things over. I eyed him, suspicion coiling. After the shed? Pass. But Jake pressed, all earnest puppy eyes. He's cooling off. Said he admires your grit. Please? For me. For him. Always for him. I caved. Because that's what you do for the friend who's seen you puke after your first beer. Who's covered for you when mom's shifts ran long. The Hargrove backyard was a slice of suburbia perfected. Manicured lawn rolling to a kidney-shaped pool. String lights twinkling like captured stars. Grill smoke carrying the sizzle of brats and burgers. 30 teammates milled about. Red Solo cups in hand. Laughter bouncing off the cedar fence. Mr. Hargrove manned the tongs. All khakis and charisma. Slapping backs like a politician on the stump. Jake handed me a soda. No beer. Dad's rules. And vanished to fetch plates, leaving me adrift. Tyler arrived late, shaking rain from his hoodie, that easy grin cutting through the crowd. He gravitated to me by the cooler, bumping fists. Fancy seeing you here. Thought you'd boycott. I smirked, but my pulse skipped when his fingers brushed mine passing a lime. We talked shop, scouting reports on our rivals, the Hilltoppers' weak left flank. Easy rhythm masking the undercurrent. Then Mr. Hargrove loomed, plate heaped high, inserting himself with a boom. Tyler, the enforcer himself. You two plotting world domination. Tyler's laugh was light, but his posture stiffened. Just talking tactics, Mr. H. Hargrove's eyes slid to me, appraising. Good. Keep it clean. No funny business. The double entendre hung, and Tyler's brow furrowed, but he played it off. As Hargrove wandered, Tyler leaned in. He's intense, huh? Intense. There it was again. I nodded, throat dry, and that's when Jake reappeared. Flushed, eyes darting. Alex, come on. Dad wants you for a sec. He steered me to the patio, away from the splash of cannonballs and shouts. Mr. Hargrove waited, nursing a beer, face set like weathered oak. Ellis, glad you came. Listen, I've been thinking on our talk. Hope flickered, maybe an apology, a truce. You're talented, kid. But to play with the big boys, you gotta commit. No distractions. He glanced at Tyler across the yard, then back, voice dropping. I hear things. Locker room talk. You and the new guy keep it professional. Or it's JV for both of you. My stomach plummeted. How? Who? Jake shifted beside me, staring at his sneakers. Betrayal bloomed, hot and sharp. You told him? I whispered, turning on my best friend. Jake's head snapped up, denial flashing. What? No, Dad overheard. Okay? After practice. I didn't. Save it. The words cracked like thunder. Mr. Hargrove's hand clamped my shoulder again, steering me toward the gate. Go home, Ellis. Think on it. Team first. I wrenched free, storming through the gate, the party's joy mocking me. Rain started then, fat drops smearing my vision, but it was Jake's voice calling after, Alex, wait! That nearly broke me. I didn't look back. The fallout rippled like a stone in still water. Monday practice was a minefield. Jake avoiding my gaze, Tyler shooting concerned looks I couldn't decode, Hargrove's corrections, now laced with smug satisfaction. I played like a ghost, passes wild, focus shattered. Whispers turned to murmurs. Ellis is losing it. And coach called a team meeting midweek. His voice gruff over the whiteboard X's and O's. We're fracturing, boys. Playoffs are 2 weeks out. Fix it or fold. I fixed it the only way I knew, retreat. Skipped the next barbecue. Ate lunch in the art room sketching goal formations twisted into abstract storms. Mom noticed, of course, her nurse's eye sharp as scalpels. Spill, Alex. This isn't Hargrove's drills. It's heavier. Over spaghetti in our cramped kitchen. Fluorescent hum the soundtrack. I unloaded. Her face softened, fork pausing. Oh, honey, that's not fixing. That's breaking. You tell that man. No. The word was steel. It's my fight. But inside doubt gnawed. Was I the problem? Too loud. To me. Unraveling the seams? Tyler found me Thursday after school, leaning against my Civic in the lot, rain-slicked and determined. Ride? He asked, nodding to his beat-up Jeep. I hesitated, Hargrove's warning echoing, but climbed in, the cab smelling of pine air freshener and wet dog. We drove aimless, windows fogging, FM radio crooning some country heartbreaker about lost loves. Heard about the barbecue, Tyler said finally, merging onto Route 8. Jake's dad cornered you? More than that. I stared at the wiper's rhythm, confessing the threat, the JV specter. Tyler's knuckles whitened on the wheel. That's fucked. You're the heart of this team, Alex. Without your spark, we're just robots. He pulled into an overlook, Lake Erie sprawling gray below, waves whispering secrets. Turned to me, eyes fierce. I like your spark. On the field. Off it. The air thickened, charged. My breath caught as he leaned, slow, giving me outs I didn't take. His lips met mine, tentative then sure, tasting of mint and rain. The world narrowed to that kiss, doubts dissolving in the heat. When we broke, foreheads touching, he murmured, I've wanted that since Akron. Scared shitless, but, yeah. Tyler was by the grapevine wrong again. And just like that, in the cab of a Jeep with the lake raging, I wasn't alone. But secrets in Willow Creek fester like untreated wounds. We kept it quiet, stolen moments in the trainer's room, coded texts, meet at the Oak, hands brushing during huddles. The team gelled oddly in our wake. My game sharpened, infused with a fire Hargrove couldn't touch. Goals flowed again, assists chaining like poetry. Jake noticed, thawing with awkward apologies in the hall. I didn't mean for Dad to, but trust was a frayed rope, swinging precarious. Climax brewed with the district semis against the Hilltoppers, our arch-rivals from the next county over. The stadium buzzed that crisp October night, floodlights carving the field into stark relief, stands packed with face paint and foam fingers. Mom in the bleachers, her scrubs swapped for a team hoodie, cheering hoarse. Tyler and I warmed up shoulder to shoulder, his wink a talisman against the pregame jitters. Jake jogged over last, helmet under arm, eyes shadowed. Good luck, guys. Plural. He knew, or guessed. The whistle blew, and chaos reigned. First half was a slaughter. Hilltoppers pressing like wolves. Their center back a brick wall named Kowalski who clotheslined me at the 20-minute mark. Yellow card fluttering like a taunt. We trailed 1-0 at intermission, huddle tense, coach's clipboard cracking against his palm. Dig deep. This is heart, not headlines. Hargrove paced the sidelines, barking at refs, his face a thunderhead. Second half flipped on a dime. I stole the ball at midfield, faked left, flare uncaged, and threaded a laser to Tyler who buried it top shelf. Tie game, crowd erupting. Jake clapped my back in the scrum, genuine for once. But Hargrove's eyes bored in, suspicion sharpening. Minutes later, on a corner kick, I rose for the header, body twisting in that prancing arc he hated. Ball kissed net, 2-1. But as I landed, Kowalski charged, elbow to ribs. Pain exploded, white hot. I crumpled, breath a wheeze. The ref's whistle shrilled, red card waving. Ejection. But before the chaos, Hargrove was there. Yanking me up by the collar, hissing in my ear over the din. See? That's what your bullshit gets you. Ruining everything. Spit flecked my cheek. The stands blurred. Mom's scream piercing. But it was Tyler shoving through. Get off him. That ignited the powder keg. Jake arrived next, face ashen, grabbing his dad's arm. Dad, stop. It's not. Not what? Hargrove roared, shaking free, voice carrying to the bench. Not that you're soft because of him? That he's turning my son. Turning you into. He trailed. The unsaid word a bomb. Faggot. The team froze. Cleats rooted. Coach stormed over, but Tyler was faster, shoving Hargrove back, chest heaving. He's twice the man you'll ever be. And yeah, I love him. Deal with it. Time suspended. Hargrove's face crumpled, shock. Then fury. Then something rawer. Fear. Jake stepped between them, voice breaking. Dad, enough. Alex is my brother. Tyler too. You're the one breaking us. The ref herded us off. Game paused in farce. But the real match played out on the sidelines. Hargrove deflated, shoulders slumping, eyes darting to the stands where Mrs. Hargrove, Jake's mom, watched wide-eyed, her hand at her throat. Medics carted me to the tunnel, ribs taped, but I caught the end. Coach subbing in reserves, the team rallying on Tyler's breakaway goal, 3-1 final. Victory hollow but sweet. Hargrove vanished post-whistle, but Jake found me in the ER waiting room, Mom dozing beside. "He knows," Jake said, sliding into the plastic chair. "About you and Ty. Freaked him out, but I think he's scared of losing me, of not understanding." I nodded, ice pack numb against my side. "You pick sides." Jake's laugh was bitter. "Already did. Yours." Dawn broke over the hospital parking lot, pink and forgiving, as Tyler slipped in, bruised knuckles from the shove, grin defiant. He kissed my forehead, soft as apology. "We won, babe." Mom stirred, smiling sleepy, no questions asked. Word of the blow-up spread faster than flu season. By Monday, the local paper ran a blurb, "Eisenhower victory marred by sideline scuffle." And Hargrove's name trended in our group's chat, not for glory, but grit. He didn't show at practice Tuesday. Coach said family emergency. Whispers swirled. Divorce papers. Soul searching? But Thursday he appeared. Unannounced, cap low, hands shoved in pockets. The team stiffened as he approached the huddle, but he held up palms. "Boys, I screwed up. Big time." Voice cracked, eyes red-rimmed. Thought I was building winners. Was tearing him down instead. "Alex," he turned to me direct. "Your style? Is gold. Don't change a damn thing. Team spirit ain't about sameness. It's about lifting each other." I forgot that. Apology hung, simple and seismic. I nodded, throat tight. "Welcome back, Mr. H." Tyler squeezed my hand behind our backs, hidden but solid. Jake beamed, the knot between us loosening. Playoffs rolled on. Semis to finals in a blur of mud and miracles. We took state, me with a flare-filled assist in the dying seconds. Tyler's header sealing glory under confetti rain. Hargrove cheered loudest from the stands, arm around Mrs. H, Jake between. Post-game, in the lot, he pulled me aside, not to the shed, but open air. "Proud of you, kid. All of you. No meaty clap, just a nod. Enough." That summer, Tyler and I drove the lake road, windows down, his hand in mine over the gearshift. Jake tagged along sometimes, shotgun to our backseat banter, healing in the rearview. Willow Creek didn't transform overnight. No pride flags on Main, no sermons rewritten. But cracks formed, light seeping. Mom got a promotion, enough for that family trip to California. Hargrove started a youth clinic, Team Spirit Initiative, flyers touting inclusion like a quiet revolution. Love, I learned, isn't a spotlight. It's the steady glow in the dark, the way Tyler hums off-key to my playlists. The forgiveness Jake extends like a passed ball. And spirit? It's not fixed. It's fought for, one unexpected twirl at a time. The confetti still clung to my cleats like stubborn glitter as we piled into Tyler's Jeep. The state championship trophy wedged awkwardly between the seats, its plastic gleam catching the dashboard lights. Laughter bubbled up from the team, hoarse and triumphant, but mine caught on the ache in my ribs. Remnant of Kowalski's elbow, now just a purple badge under my jersey. "To the king," Jake hollered from the back, cracking open a warm Gatorade like it was champagne, splashing neon green across the console. Tyler glanced in the rearview, smirking. "Easy, golden boy. Dad'll have your hide for staining the upholstery." Jake's grin faltered for a split second, old reflexes, but he recovered, toasting the air. "Nah, he's mellowing. Blame Alex's magic." Magic. If only. That night on the sidelines had been less sorcery, more seismic shift. The kind that leaves fault lines but fertile ground. Mr. Hargrove's apology echoed in my head, raw as an open mic confession. I forgot what team means. We'd shaken on it under the stadium lights. His grip firm but not crushing, eyes holding mine without the hawk's glare. Progress, Ohio style. slow as molasses, sweet if you wait. The drive home wound through cornfields silvered by moonlight, radio fuzzing between country stations and static. Tyler's free hand found mine on the stick shift, thumb tracing lazy circles. A Morse code of we're okay. Jake pretended not to notice, launching into a recap. That assist, Alex? Pure poetry. Hargrove about levitated when it went in. I chuckled, wincing at the pull in my side. Flair and all. Jake nodded, earnest. Especially that. Dad texted me during the game. Tell Ellis to keep dancing. Swear to God. Swear to God. In Willow Creek, that was binding as blood oath. Tyler squeezed my fingers, pulling into my driveway too soon, gravel crunching under tires. Mom's porch light glowed like a beacon, her silhouette in the window waving a dishrag flag. Curfew, princes, Tyler teased, leaning over for a quick kiss. Chaste, but electric, tasting of victory sweat and spearmint. Jake hooped mockingly from the back, but hopped out to fist bump me goodbye, no shadows in his eyes. Sleep it off, hero. Breakfast at ours tomorrow, Dad's making pancakes. Reparations. I watched the taillights fade, Jeep's rumble fading into cricket symphony, before climbing the steps. Mom enveloped me in a hug that smelled of lavender and leftover lasagna. Her scrubs rumpled from the double shift she'd pulled to make the game. My champion, she murmured, holding me at arm's length, scanning for damage. Ribs holding. I nodded, but she saw through, always did, nurse's x-ray vision. Inside, over cold milk and trophy photos on her phone, I spilled the post-game thaw, Hargrove's clinic idea, Jake's thaw. Her eyes misted, fork spearing a meatball absent-minded. Healing hurts, kiddo, but look at you, turning pain to power. That's the real win. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled. Goal nets morphing to safety nets, Hargrove's face shifting from storm to sunrise. Woke to birdsong and the scent of bacon wafting from across the street. Jake's text. Pancakes await. Don't ghost. The Hargrove house was a colonial. White siding pristine. American flag snapping from the pole like a salute. Mrs. Hargrove, Lila, with her bobbed hair and librarian quiet, ushered me in, pressing a mug of coffee into my hands. Ignore the mess, she said, though the kitchen gleamed, counters laden with fruit bowls and syrup pitchers. Mr. Hargrove hovered at the stove, apron tied over his weekend polo, flipping flapjacks with a spatula that looked comically small in his paws. Morning, Ellis, he rumbled, not quite meeting my eyes, sliding a stack my way, golden, stacked 3 high, smiley face etched in chocolate chips. Figured you earned extra. Breakfast unfolded awkward as a first date. Jake dominating chatter about college scouts sniffing around. Ohio State for him, maybe Michigan for Tyler, while Lila steered to neutral ground, weather in Willow Creek's fall festival. Hargrove listened mostly, interjecting grunts, until the plates cleared and the others drifted to the living room TV. He cleared his throat, gesturing me to the deck. Morning sun slanted through oaks, leaves carpeting the lawn in copper. About the other night, he started. Hands clasped on the rail, knuckles white. I was wrong, dead wrong. Raised Jake to fight fair, lead strong, but somewhere I twisted it. Thought protecting the team meant molding it, like clay. He paused, gazing at the pool's still water. You ain't clay, Alex. You're fire. Lit a spark in all of us. Fire. The word warmed, thawing the last frost between us. Appreciate it, sir. Means a lot. He turned, clapping my shoulder. Gentle this time. Call me Tom. And that clinic starts next spring. Youth League, all comers. Teach 'em spirits in the soul, not the swing. We shook again, sealing it, and I left with a full belly and fuller heart, texting Tyler. Pancakes and peace. Your turn next. Fall semester blurred into winter's grip, fields blanketed white, practices indoors on the gym's scuffed hardwood. Tyler and I navigated the new normal. Dates disguised as study sessions in the library's alcove, where he'd doodle soccer plays on my notebook margins, our knees knocking under the table. First real outing was the festival, booths hawking funnel cake and caramel apples. hayrides looping the park under strings of bulbs. We held hands in the shadows of the Ferris wheel, the world a whirl of lights and laughter. His whisper against my ear, "This okay?" More than. Jake crashed half our hangs, buffer and bro, diffusing stares from trucker hat dads with his easy charm. "Ignore 'em," he'd say. "They're jealous of our bromance plus." But undercurrents stirred. School buzzed with the scuffle's echo. Counselors calling, team-building assemblies. Rainbow stickers popping on lockers like defiant dandelions. Not everyone warmed. A few backline vets grumbled about drama, skipping drills, but coach weeded them out, benching with a gruff, "Spirit or sit." Hargrove, Tom now in quiet concession, volunteered less, ceding to coach, but showed at games with a cooler of oranges, slicing them methodical, juice staining his fingers like atonement. Thanksgiving brought storm clouds, literal and not. A nor'easter dumped 6 inches overnight, canceling the turkey trot 5K, stranding us in a power outage limbo. Tyler's folks, divorced, his mom a teacher in town, hosted a potluck mishmash. Yams from Lila, pie from Mom. We crammed around their harvest table, candles flickering shadows on walls papered in floral faded. Talk turned to futures. Tyler eyeing sports psych at Bowling Green, me dreaming journalism, writing stories that punch like passes. Tom raised a glass of eggnog, spiked, whispered wink, toasting. To paths untaken, and taken bold. Eyes met across the turkey, mine and Tyler's, Jake's and his dad's. A circle closing. Winter thawed to mud season, spring tryouts looming like a fresh slate. The clinic kicked off in March, a ragtag crew of middle schoolers tumbling onto the turf. Gangly boys with braces, girls in ponytails fierce as falcons. A non-binary kid named Riley who nutmegged me first drill, grinning gap-toothed. Tom ran it old school. Cone weaves, passing grids, but woven talks. Teams of family, messy but yours. Lift or leave. I assisted weekends, Tyler too, our flair mentoring the chaos. Riley latched to me, shy questions about being different on the field. And I'd demo spins, laughing when they face-planted. Fall hard, rise harder. One April evening, post-clinic, Tom pulled me aside as parents idled in minivans. Dusk painted the sky lavender, sprinklers hissing mist. "You're good with them, Alex. Natural." Pause, then, "Jake told me about you too." Tyler didn't pry his story, but happy for you. Deserve it. The vulnerability cracked him open, a man unarmored. I nodded, words failing, but he clapped my back, light as leaf, and walked off, calling to Jake about burgers. Prom loomed. Willow Creek High's Cinderella ball in the gym gussied with tinsel and twinkles. Tradition dictated tuxes and tiaras, but we subverted. Tyler in a slim-fit suit the color of midnight, me in emerald to match my eyes, Mom's insistence. Own the room. Jake as wingman, Ty Askew, Lila snapping pics on the porch. The gym thrummed, disco ball spinning stars, bass thumping through uptown funk. We danced loose-limbed, Tyler's hand low on my waist, ignoring the gawks from the punch line. Jake cut in once, twirling me theatrical. For old times. Drawing laughs, defusing tension. Later, under bleachers strung with lights, Tyler pulled me close, slow dancing to Ed Sheeran. His breath warm. "Love this." You. Summer beckoned, internships and lake days. But first, graduation. Caps and gowns in the auditorium. Pomp and circumstance, swelling like a tide. Valedictorian droned about horizons. But my mind wandered to the field, the shed, the shift. Post-ceremony, families swarmed the lawn, hugs and helium balloons. Tom found us by the oak tree, Jake trailing with a cooler. "Proud," he said simple, handing over engraved keychains. Mini soccer balls, inscribed true spirit, for the road ahead. We drove out that night, Tyler, Jake, me, top down on the Jeep, Route 71 unspooling south toward freedom. Wind whipped our whoops, stars pricking the velvet sky. Betrayal scar faded to story, conflict to catalyst. In the Heartland's hum, we carved our play style. Unapologetic, unbreakable, ours. College hit like a freight train wrapped in autumn leaves. Ohio State for me and Tyler. A compromise between his psych dreams and my J-school ambitions. Jake commuting to OSU's branch in Lima but crashing our dorm weekends like a boomerang. Campus sprawled massive, brick quads echoing with frisbee flings and protest chants. A world wider than Willow Creek's horizons. We claimed a shoebox room in Morrison Tower, posters of Pele and Prince papering cinderblock walls. Twin beds shoved together under the guise of study efficiency. First night, suitcases half unpacked. Tyler tugged me down amid the chaos, kissing slow and sure. Our kingdom, he murmured. And yeah, it felt like conquest. Classes blurred. Intro to reporting for me, laced with ethical debates that mirrored my own reckonings. Abnormal psych for him, dissecting motivations with a scalpel's precision. We carved routines. Morning runs along the Olentangy River, leaves crunching copper underfoot. His hand brushing mine when joggers thinned. Evenings, cafeteria trays steaming with mystery meat, dissecting days over lukewarm coffee. Hargrove text today? I'd ask, and Tyler'd grin, showing clinics booming. Riley scored a hat trick. Tom had expanded it, scholarships for underprivileged kids, whispers of a foundation. Redemption's quiet work. But college wasn't fairy tale. It was friction. Hometowns clung like burrs. Freshmen from Cleveland burping fairy. As slur over pong tables. Eyes narrowing at our linked pinkies in the union. Tyler bristled. Jaw tight. But I'd pull him away. Not worth the tackle. Jake's visits bridged gaps. His AG major tales of soil samples and supply chains a grounding hum. One tailgate pre-Buckeyes game, he cornered us by the grill, foam finger absurd on his bicep. Dad's dating again. Lila set him up. Some teacher from the library. We blinked, then clinked bottles. Good for him, I said, meaning it. Wounds scar, but don't define. Winter quarter dug in. Snow blanketing campus like a hush. I landed an internship at the Lantern, pounding pavement for features on queer athletes. Irony thick as fog. First piece. A wrestler outed mid-season, parallels to my Flair fight hitting too close. Typing it late in the newsroom, fluorescence buzzing. Tyler brought hot cocoa, perching on my desk. Raw, he said, reading over my shoulder. You. Vulnerability again, that kiss in the Jeep's echo. We walked back arm in arm. Snowflakes melting on lashes, pausing under street lamps to steal breaths. Spring brought bloom and blowback. Tom's clinic hosted a showcase. Bus trip home, fields greened anew. Riley, now 14 and towering, captained the under-12s. Their jerseys crisp with sponsor logos. We coached a scrimmage, Tyler diagramming traps, me demoing fakes with exaggerated spins, crowd chuckling, kids aping gleefully. Tom watched from sidelines, clipboard idle, a soft smile cracking his coach face. Post-game picnic, he pulled Tyler aside. Man-to-man, words lost to wind but tone paternal. Later, over ribs sticky with sauce, Tyler relayed, said he's got your back, always, and invited us to family Christmas. For real. Family. The word lodged sweet. Mom had softened to Tyler over video calls. His bad puns earning eye rolls, his thoughtfulness, mailed wildflowers for her birthday, winning points. But Tom's olive branch? Seismic 2.0. Jake hooped when we told him, slapping high fives. Told ya. Pancakes were just the start. Yet shadows lingered. A lantern source tipped me. Local paper digging into the championship scuffle. Anniversary angle. 1 year later. Team spirit or spectacle? I pitched it higher up, but nerves gnawed. Interviewed Tom at his office. Real estate plaques gleaming, but a rainbow mug on his desk. Subtle shout out. Regret. I probed, recorder whirring. He leaned back, chair creaking. Every day, but regret's a teacher. Made me better. For Jake, the kids, you boys. Off record, quieter. Scared me, seeing my boy stand up. Thought I raised a follower. Got a leader instead. Vulnerability again, Ohio men cracking open like walnuts. The piece dropped mid-May, front page with a field photo. Us three, me, Tyler, Jake, mid-huddle, grins fierce. Headlines tempered. From sideline clash to lasting legacy. How one high school team redefined spirit. Responses flooded. Letters to editor praising Tom's clinic. A few cranks foaming online, but mostly momentum. OSU's LGBTQ Center repped me for a panel, Athletes Out Loud. My talk on flair as strength-drawing nods. A shy wrestler in the front row mouthing thanks. Summer internship slotted me at the Columbus Dispatch, fact-checking obits and obscene deadlines. Tyler waitering at a Buckeye bar for beer money. We sublet the studio off High Street. First place hours. Lease signed with linked hands. Nights we'd collapse on the futon, take out boxes as pillows, plotting. Grad school for him, maybe NPR for me. Jake interned on a farm co-op. Weekends hauling us to bonfires. S'mores and stories under Milky Way sprawl. One night, embers dying. He confessed. Dad's engaged. To the teacher, Ellen. She's cool. Asks about you guys. Progress exponential. Fall senior year ramped stakes. Tyler's thesis on team dynamics quoted my lantern clip. Dedication. To AE for the spark. I blushed reading it in the lib, his arm slung casual. My capstone. A series on rural queer youth, Willow Creek Ground Zero. Interviews with Riley, out now, club president. Ex-teammates owning regrets. Tom's foundation funded it partial. Check arriving with a note. Keep telling truths. T. Climax Redux hit December. Tom's wedding. Small affair at the community center. Twinkle lights and poinsettias. We suited up. Tyler fidgeting with his cufflinks in our bathroom mirror. Nervous, I teased, straightening his tie. He grinned, spinning me. About vows? Nah, about not crying during yours. Vows. We talked rings. Someday, post-grad, a courthouse quiet. But tonight, standing with Jake as unofficial best men. Watching Tom exchange bands with Ellen, her veil soft focus, his eyes wet. Love's alchemy, turning lead to light. Reception spilled to the gym, repurposed with round tables and a DJ spinning Motown. Tyler and I swayed to Ain't No Mountain. His chin on my shoulder, world narrowing. Jake cut in, twirling Ellen dramatic. Coach, you're stuck with me now. Drawing belly laughs. Tom found us later, cake fork in hand. Ellen beaming beside. Boys, he said, voice thick. Couldn't have this without you. The fight woke me. Hugs all around. Clumsy, heartfelt. And as fireworks popped outside, spelling Hargrove Foster, I caught Tyler's eye over the sparkle. Forever's preview. Graduation dawned muggy. May sun gilding the horseshoe. Diplomas in hand. Journalism ink still wet on mine. Psych leather-bound for him. We posed with families, mom dabbing tears, Tom hoisting the obligatory air jab. Jake, 1 year behind, vowed, my turn next. Don't ghost the ceremony. Post-party, we drove the Scioto, windows down, his truck bed our chariot. To us, Tyler toasted with a stolen beer, and we drank deep, bitter, bright. Life unfurled post-college. Me at NPR affiliate in D.C., chasing stories from Beltway briefs to Heartland heartbeats. Tyler adjuncting at American U, clinic consulting on the side. Visits home wove the web, Thanksgivings at Mom's, Christmases with the Hargrove Fosters. Riley's high school games where we'd heckle from stands. Tom's voice booming proud. Jake married a vet student, farm wedding under harvest moon, us toasting with cider mugs. Years layered. My first Emmy nod for a series on sports inclusivity, Tyler's book deal on group resilience. Tom's foundation went national, chapters in rust belts and rainforests. Betrayals? Faded footnotes, lessons etched. 1 anniversary, 10th, silver bands exchanged in a Virginia vineyard. We honeymooned Willow Creek, fields eternal. Under the oak, Tom's clinic plaque gleaming, Tyler knelt again. Not proposal, but promise. Still my spark. I pulled him up, kissing fierce. Always. Spirit's no fix. Its flow, dramatic dips, romantic rises, humanistic holds. In America's patchwork we played on. Unscripted, unbreakable. DC swallowed me whole that first autumn. Monuments looming like judgmental uncles. metro rumbles underscoring the city's ceaseless churn. My NPR gig started green. Fetching coffee for producers with accents thicker than fog. Transcribing tapes till my fingers cramped. But the stories hooked me. Interviews with whistleblowers in whispery cafes. Edits sharpening truths like cleats on turf. Tyler thrived too. Adjunct lectures packing his syllabus with case studies from Tom's clinic. Students nodding fervent over resilience metrics. Weekends, we'd escape to Rock Creek Park. Trails winding green escapes. His hand in mine as joggers blurred past. Affirmation in anonymity. Homesickness hit sideways. Not the fields, but the faces. Mom's calls crackled with updates. Festival same, but Riley's captaining varsity now. Jake's texts pinged farm fails and first date fumbles. Tom's emails arrived sporadic, forwarded clippings. Saw your piece on the wrestler. Spot on. Clinic's got a DC chapter brewing. His word, always practical but laced with pride. We flew back for holidays, airport hugs a ritual. Mom's enveloping, Lila's crisp with cookies, Tom's backslap evolving to shoulder squeeze. One Christmas Eve, snow dusting Willow Creek like powdered sugar, we gathered at the Hargrove Foster Manse. Expanded now with Ellen's touch, bookshelves bowing under tomes and clinic awards. Fireplace crackled, stockings plump. Riley, 16, lanky as a colt, regaling with tales of a championship upset. Nutmegged the goalie Alex style, he crowed, and I ruffled his hair, echo of my own flare days. Dinner unfolded. Turkey carved precise by Tom. Grace said by Ellen invoking gratitude's glue. Toast circled. Jake's to roots and routes. Mom's misty to my boys. Then Tyler's, glass raised. To family found. Eyes met. Tom's nodding slow, the room's warmth thawing any residual chill. New Year's dawned crisp, resolutions scribbled on napkins over brunch. Mine, a book proposal on queer sports narratives. Tyler's, a TEDx slot on team empathy. Back in DC, momentum built. My series pitched, Fields of Fire. LGBTQ athletes breaking barriers. Greenlit with a budget for travel. First stop, Ohio, Willow Creek High. Anniversary of our state win. Coach Ramirez, grayer but game, welcomed me to the pitch. Turf upgraded. Stands etched with spirit lives here. Kids drilled under Riley's whistle, spins and fakes flowing free. Interview with Tom post-practice. Recorder between us on the bleachers. That night, wake-up call. Thought I knew manhood, turns out it's vulnerability. Quote gold, but his off-mic ad. You boys set the bar. Jake too. The piece aired nationwide. Snippets on Morning Edition. Feedback flooding. Shares from coaches. DMs from closeted teens. Tyler's TEDx followed spring. Streamed from Columbus. Us in the front row, Jake beside. Tom's foundation logo projected bold. Stage lights caught his easy stance. Slides of clinic kids morphing to pro athletes out proud. Spirit isn't uniformity, he said, voice steady. It's the courage to curve when they say straight. Q&A teared up. A question from a bi dad. How do I fix? Me? Tyler's pause. Then, don't fix. Forgive. Forward. We stood ovation roaring. His hug post-stage sweat slick. Whisper. For us. Summer road trip stitched coasts. Willow Creek launchpad. Then Nashville for a queer league tourney. Austin's food trucks fueling thesis tweaks. Jake joined segments, his truck towed behind. Tales of soil science segues to sideline stories. One smoky mountain night. Campfire spitting sparks. He cracked. Remember the shed? Thought you'd bolt. I poked the embers. Almost. But teams don't quit. Tyler leaned in, our trio shoulder to shoulder, bond reforged. Fall brought forks. My book deal, advance modest but mighty, requiring sabbatical. Tyler's offer from Georgetown, tenure track tempting. We debated over DC cherry blossoms, petals pink confetti. Together? He asked, ring finger tracing mine. Bands delayed, but dreams aligned. Decided, sabbatical tandem, me writing in coffee shops, him guest lecturing. Willow Creek interlude, clinic expansion gala, black tie under tent, stars winking. Tom emceed, suit sharp, Ellen radiant arm in arm. Speech wove our tale, sideline to spotlight. Ending. Spirit's a verb. We live it. Auction raised records, my signed lantern clipping fetching bids from teary alumni. But cracks spidered. A dispatch exposé on rural hazing landed in my lap. Tips from ex-players. Echoes of my shove freshman year. Dug deep. Interviews in barns and basements. Voices cracking on tape. Tyler worried. Pacing our apartment. Stirs ghosts. Did Hargrove's name surface tangential old email chains griping soft coaching. But Tom cooperated full statement. Past mistakes fuel present men's. Peace dropped incendiary. Protests at implicated schools, my byline a beacon and bullseye. Threats pinged. Voicemails venomous. But support surged. NPR promo. Tom's Foundation shield. Climax crested winter. Book tour kickoff in Columbus. Launch at OSU Union. Crowd spilling. Jake emceed. Jokes landing loose. Mom front row. Clutching arc. Reading excerpted my chapter on flair. Not distraction, disruption. The beautiful break. Q&A turned tide. A dad stood. Voice waver. My son's like you. Hargrove, your story. Gave me words. Tom in the wings, eyes glassy. Post-event. Signing line snaking. He hugged abrupt. You did it, kid. Changed the game. Changed. Past tense, but ripple present. Spring bloomed reconciliations. Tyler's tenure locked. We house-hunted Virginia burbs. Yard for future pups. Room for visiting ghosts. Wedding whispers amplified. June, backyard vows, Willow Creek caterers. Invites mailed. Mom maid of honor. Jake best man. Riley ringbearer grinning gapless. Ceremony under that oak. Plaque polished. Tom's voice booming vows proxy. I do. For spirit's sake. Rings exchanged. Simple silver etched curve ahead. Kiss sealing amid cheers. Honeymooned Iceland. Geysers geysering. Auroras dancing. Recharge for round 2. Back. Book climb charts. Tyler's classes waitlisted. Tom's Foundation tapped me bored. Quarterly flights home. Strategy sessions over pie. Riley interning summers. Jake's twins arrived pink and squalling. Godparent duties hours. Diaper dashes and duckling tails. Decade mark. DC dinner. Candlelit. Reflecting. Betrayal to belonging. Tyler toasts. Fork clinking. Ghosts. Banished. Legacy. Living. Flair in every forward pass. Spirit in every stand. The twins christening neutral welcoming now. Per Jake's modern twist. Unfolded in the Hargrove Foster backyard. Late summer sun gilding the pool like liquid gold. Little Emma and Noah. Chubby-fisted and cooing. Gurgled through the ceremony. Officiant a clinic alum with tattoos peeking from clerical collar. Jake beamed paternal, his wife Sarah. Vet with a gentle drawl. Cradling one babe while I held the other. Tyler snapping candids on his phone. Future midfielders, he quipped. Zoom on tiny toes. Tom, ordained accidental for the occasion. Sprinkled water with solemn splash. Into this circle of spirit, we welcome you. Laughter rippled. Ellen's eyes misty. Mom dabbing with a napkin monogrammed Nana. Post-ritual picnic sprawled lazy. Quilts on lawn, coolers sweating condensation. Riley, college freshman now, psych major like Ty. Leading kiddie games with a soccer slant. Mini goals from sticks and string. I chased Emma's wobbles. Her giggles infectious. Tyler corralling Noah's rolls. Practice for hours? He murmured. Low enough for just us. The notion fluttering butterfly soft in my chest. Parenthood, abstract till then. Sketched in hypotheticals over brunch. But here, amid family fractal, it rooted real. Years accelerated post-wedding. A montage of milestones blurred by bylines and syllabi. My book spawned sequels, Flair Forward, podcast tie-in interviewing pros from WNBA to World Cup. NPR promoted me field producer, gigs chasing climate refugees in Appalachia, voting rights marches in Georgia. Tyler's department chair gig ballooned his load. Conferences in Copenhagen, grants for empathy labs, but he carved space, our Virginia fixer-upper a haven. Creaky porch swing for evening unwinds, kitchen island scarred from experimental paellas. Willow Creek anchored, biannual pilgrimages. Clinic galas swelling to hundreds, Tom's hair silvering but stature unbowed. One fall board meeting over strategy maps, he confided, "Ellen and me, thinking adoption. Older kid, maybe from the program." Eyes twinkled, vulnerability vintage. "Your story inspired." Inspired. The word, once scarce, now currency. Conflict resurfaced subtle. A dispatch alum, my old editor, pitched a retrospective. Hargrove at 10? Savior or symbol? Angle barbed, sources anonymous. Ex-teammates claiming forced redemption. Clinic white guilt PR. I demurred, but it gnawed betrayal's echo, testing scars. Tyler sensed, brewing tea strong. Your call, but truth's your turf. Called Tom, voice steady. Stirring pots. Want me to quash? His laugh gravel. Nah, let him dig. We've got receipts. Receipts. Testimonials stacked. Impact metrics soaring. Thousands touched. Lives lifted. The piece ran tepid, facts favoring, but headline hedging. A decade of debate. The Hargrove legacy. Backlash brief. Online trolls, a protest fizzled at the clinic gates. Tom countered graceful. Op-ed in the local rag. Debates dialogue. Spirit thrives in storm. We rallied, virtual toast across time zones. Me in Atlanta embedding, Tyler zooming from office hours. Jake texted memes. Dad versus drama. Round 2. KO. Personal tides turn 2. Fertility consults crept into calendars. IVF whispers. Surrogacy scans. Emma's second birthday. Balloon chased. Crystallized it. Want this chaos times 2. I told Tyler. Post-party cleanup. Her cake-smeared grin snapshot on my heart. He nodded, kissing flour-dusted brow. Our team. Journey jagged, shots and schedules. Hopes dashed in clinical calls. But solidarity steeled us. Mom's visits fortified. Her nurse wisdom pragmatic. Bodies bend. Don't break. Tom's advice, unsolicited over phone. Like coaching. Adjust, advance. Breakthrough bloomed spring. Surrogate match. A teacher from Cleveland. Story syncing hours. Pregnancy tracked in ultrasounds grainy as old game film. Kicks chronicled in group chats. Jake's future uncle duties locked. Riley's emojis exploding. Nesting ramped. Nursery painted sage. Crib assembled crooked by Ty's hammer fumbles. Due date danced near. My sabbatical aligning for the wait. Climax crested July 4th. Fireworks literal, labor metaphorical. Midnight bag packed, we raced ER ward. Tyler's grip vice on mine through contractions crescendo. Hours blurred. Beeps and breaths. Sarah coaching breaths. Vet skills transferable. Mom timing pushes. Dawn cracked as twins arrived. Boy-girl. Cries duet. Named Leo and Sage. For leaders and wild grace. Tyler cut cords trembling. I held them first. Tiny fists waving victory. Our spark. He whispered. Tears salting the sterile air. News rippled home. Tom's flight immediate. Landing with Ellen and Pi. Clinic closed half-day for family expansion. Board meeting morphed meet the babes. Jake arrived dusty from harvest. Twins in his arms mirroring his own. Payback, he grinned. Emma tugging Sage's sock. Mom orchestrated the chaos. Lila chronicling candids. Paternity leave cocooned us. Naps fractured by feeds. Walks stroller slow through neighborhood oaks. Tyler's lectures paused. My deadlines deferred. World shrank to milky scents and midnight monologues. Doubts surfaced nocturnal. Am I enough? But Tyler's hand in dark. We're the team. Flair intact. Visitors cycled. Riley babysitting for date nights. His boyfriend a goalie? Irony noted. Jake's farm fresh produce drops. Fall reentry staggered, me podcasting from home office. Ty hybrid classes. Book 3 brewed. Spirit's next play. Weaving parenting parallels to pitchside lessons. Tom's foundation partnered. Chapters on family dynamics in sports. One keynote. Joint. Us on stage. Twins projected backdrop. We fielded. How's fatherhood fit the field? Tyler. Same rules. Adapt, affirm. Q&A tiered. A coach dad. Inspired my coming out. Full circle. Years layered softer. Leo's first steps on clinic turf. Sage's spins echoing mine. Willow Creek visits evolved. Grandkids under Tom's wing. Stories swapped porchside. Jake's farm thrived organic. Twins romping hay bales. Mom retired lakeside. Cabin christened with our visits. 20th anniversary dawned vineyard redux. Vows renewed under Virginia vines. Kids flower tossers. Family full. Tom toasted voice weathered warm. From fix to family. True spirit. Glasses chimed. Fireworks fading to stars. Legacy, not endpoint evolution. In America's weave, we curved on dramatic, devoted, defiantly us.